Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chris Turner was yesterday's guest. I think people like him.
Oh my God, they're in love with him.
That's what I think. Thank you to everyone listening and chatting live on YouTube. By the way, his rap at the end, every rap, I reheard the show. Every single rap. In fact, today's guest, Ben Roy, I'm going to have him improvise rap between each story, too. That was so fun. We'll get to that, Ben. If you like Chris, let him know. All our guest info can be found on our website. If you're following us on Twitter, it's there. You know, all that. Come on, Future KATG winner, this person says right here. What an amazing mind and great episode. My vote for best new guest and best song. Wow. Oh my God, I got to the end of the podcast and was mind blown by the Daddy Emails rap. I'll be seeing Chris in California. Never watched Shield, yet he killed a freestyle about it. Best new guest. Remind all your listeners how to vote and where to vote again. The KATG Awards. That's how you vote. You know that. It's on the forums. You'll see it right there. KeithandtheGirl.com/awards. It's all our KATG Awards. The best, the craziest, the saddest, the happiest moments of the year. We do an award show about it. You can see them right now. KeithandtheGirl.com/awards.
Also, Ryan V is saying, I enjoyed the rap almost as much as I enjoyed seeing Keith's reaction.
I literally had my hand on my forehead, my other hand on the back of my brain, like holding my head together. It was trying to punch out, but in a good way. Like COVID, that punched me, and it's like, that's painful. But this was like, it was still painful. Oh, it's good.
And I like this. So good. I think we should start every episode now, like saying how we felt about the person before, the guest before, and then introduce the person today. Like, I love that we're like yesterday's guest. I don't know who can top it. This guy's going to be I don't even remember a better guest that we've ever had. Anyway, returning to Keith and the Girl.
But you know what we can also do? Just be like, so yesterday's guest, they thought they were an open book. They aren't. Is it their own book? Anyway, today's guest will be much better. The great Ben Roy. Hello, Ben.
Hi, how are you? That is so much to live up. What was this rap? What was the rap about?
He's a great improvisational rapper. So every so often we would just basically stop the show and go, now what we just talked about, rap on that. And it's so good. Chris Turner.
Like, I mean, he lays it all down like it's all cohesive and it feels.
Yes. Let me tell you something. I didn't even remember the subjects that we just talked about, and he put them in rhyme form. Like if you ever want to feel a little dumb, but like in a nice way, Yep. Yeah, it's a nice way to be like, I don't have to be smart all the time. Let's let this guy do it.
I sent the Dad Emails rap to my brother, and my brother said, kind of like Chris says happens to him all the time. My brother said, yeah, but he had that planned.
Oh, yeah. So people thought that he's just coming with something and like injecting.
Yeah. And there's no fucking way. Yeah. There's no way.
We don't even know what we're going to say that much. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. That stuff's insane. Like all that improvised rap, the improvised Shakespeare, like all of that stuff always makes me feel super fucking stupid. So your fans are definitely going to hate me. I cannot do any of that. I have no ciphers. There's no bars. I don't know how to do any of that. So
I get very impressed when it's something that I know I could never do. Like there's not a version of me that's able to do what he does. So I'm not jealous. I'm just in awe.
There's no part of hip hop from living in New York as long as you have that's permeated into you. Like you don't go somewhere and you inadvertently rhyme something like that from time to time.
No, in fact, how many times do we go, no pun? Oh shit, that rhymed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that I don't even know. Is Chris Turner an LA comic?
He lives in New York, but he's English.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. Can I watch that episode? Like that rap? Like, is it?
You know what? You may. It'll be on our YouTube channel, and you may. It'll also be on the podcast, Keith and the Girl, and you may.
We'll have to clip it too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a clip. That's a reel.
Ben was on once on Keith and the Girl. This is crazy. Now, I don't know if it's our fault or your fault, but somebody dropped the ball. This is insane that over a decade ago you were on. You were only on once, and you were fantastic.
Yeah, that was a fun That was a fun time. I think it was right after I had done JFL and I was in New York doing shows, and you all were gracious enough to invite me over, and you lived in the studio was in a house. It was I think it was in Brooklyn, right? Maybe. Where was it?
I love people who are not from New York. They're like, it was not Manhattan. I definitely traveled out. It was
flooded. It was very rainy that day. And I remember part of the runway was flooded at LaGuardia. That's how I remember it. And I took a cab there, and it was late at night, or it was like in the evening. And it was like,
wait a minute. Are you a psychic? It was late at night or in the evening, afternoon.
It was sometime. It could have been morning, honestly.
It was an o'clock.
Well, I've been taking mescaline for days at that point. But no, I think like
we being remembered by natural disasters.
That's how I chart every podcast appearance. No, it was like a weird house that was just a studio.
You know what it is? It was in such a lovely neighborhood. If you live in New York City and maybe have like a family and one kid, it was like, but to the people who are artists who like to live inside the city, this was like we were taking them to a warehouse and we're going to kill them. That's, it's like to an average
terrifying.
Yeah. To an average family in Queens, we lived in like a lovely neighborhood. There was a supermarket. There was, the train was a little further away than New Yorkers would like, but it's, my kid, it's a lovely school district, all this shit. But if you ask any artist in New York, they're like, they lived, I don't know, I think it was in Jersey.
Even to me not living there, I took a car there and they were driving me, and I'm like, I think I got the address wrong. This is turning into the movie Judgment Night. Like I'm gonna end up like it. And when I came inside, there was nothing that blew my mind. Like, because I felt like before podcasting was as big as it is now.
Sure.
And you had already built a studio for it. And I was like, holy shit, they're like really invested in this. And I remember thinking podcasting's not going to be that big. I remember, which is why I'm probably a lot poorer than I should be.
You know what? I really think people expected a pizza party as opposed to like real mics and stuff. We're like, let's go to the studio. And no one expected microphones. No one expected a soundboard. No one expected anything. So
fans, no one expected fans,
right?
Like actual people listening who were like skewering me on it while it was happening, or everybody was super nice actually. But yeah, and you had people getting tattoos of your stuff like early on. I just remember that, but I think it's my fault that I haven't been back. It's just been a run. A weird run.
People said, hey, early on, Keith and the Girl, you're kind of good interviewers, but it's not even that. It's that people thought they were going to die that day. And so they're like, let me get everything off my chest. And all of a sudden it looks like we have a
I'm going to end up in a 50-gallon drum in the back of a garage here. So I might as well talk about my life, tell my story. Yeah.
These people thought they were out so far. People genuinely asked if we had a bathroom. Like, no, it's an outhouse. Just go outside, make a right.
It may have been me, because I really, in my recollection, it feels like a bathroomless house. Like it felt like a place where you both probably removed the bathroom for some
We needed
reason.
room for a third guest, let's say.
Yeah, it's an ISO booth. You can't. What happened to that house? What'd you all do with that?
Life.
What does that mean? A horrific fire or something?
It means I haven't seen you in over a decade, but
well, we broke up as a couple over a decade ago. We needed separate spaces. Then the studio we wanted closer to. We didn't want people to think they're absolutely going to die. We just thought, let's shorten the train ride for everybody. It was a little more feasible.
Yeah. All right.
We just described the place as a scary place where people thought there was nowhere to pee, let alone other things that happened. I mean, we had a throw up bowl. You're asking why we moved?
Yeah, I know, but the throw up bowl was super inviting. Do you know how many times I've wanted to barf on other podcasts, and I just have to go on myself? I have to do it on give me a break. No, we
really thought of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's good to see you both. And I said it when we met before it started. You both look fantastic.
Well, thank you. It's a Zoom filter. Thank you. His new album is called Hyena. We're going to get into that. You're going to love it. Congratulations, by the way. It's fantastic.
Thanks. Thank you.
Other names of his albums. I Got Demons, Ooze Your Delusions, No Enlightenment in Sobriety. All right. We'll get into that.
Yay.
I remember, of course, all your tattoos. I see them right now, but I also remember them. Some of the greats include Evanescence. Where's that tattoo?
Yeah, that's well, I had that covered up. I got it covered up with a Paramore tattoo now. I'm trying to update pop culture references, so I'm moving through it.
Can we talk about Evanescence for a second? Because
yes, please.
Recently, just yesterday, I saw a young person, I think he was in his 20s, wearing an Evanescence t-shirt, and I was like, what? I thought I was quietly listening to that recently when I remembered that they were a band, and I was like, Siri, play Evanescence, but like lower my sound, but for me, there's something about it, right? I really, really love Evanescence.
He did too.
Anyway, so I'm seeing this t-shirt. I'm like, did he borrow his t-shirt from his mother, his father, or something? In the back, it's a 2023 tour. I'm like, it's July. They already toured. They're doing things. So I love them. I think they're considered very, very, very corny because they have that white rapper guy going, it's not like, like just I've become.
Wake me up. Wake me up. That chick can't wake up. Yeah, that guy was awesome.
I cannot. So, and then on top of everything, I find out, because I'm like, okay, I'll just quietly listen to them. I'll enjoy her voice. It's eerie. It's wonderful. She's wearing black wings in the video. It's so corny. I fucking love it. And then I find out they're a Christian band, and I'm so sad. I think that's why I stopped listening for a long time. And now I secretly came back. They're on my Spotify liked playlist. Are they a Christian band? Every time she says, like, can you hear me? Is she talking to God? Please say no, please say no, please say no.
I think you're probably correct. There was like a kind of like a milquetoast kind of, like, they were like youth pastors who were cool kind of a vibe to them. But I got so high like a few weeks ago, like real stoned, eating edibles, and I went down a rabbit hole of Evanescence playing that their like big hit, that song, wake me up inside, playing it live.
My name and
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's definitely the weed hitting me, but I loved it. I went down a nostalgia hole of that.
I almost believed in God. It was so, you cannot, and also do yourselves a favor if you're listening to Evanescence. You got to sing along. You got to do it loud. I'm on a bike sometimes just wailing Evanescence out into the NYC in Central Park. And I'm like, enjoy this. We're all talking to God in one way or another, even though the version of him that you grew up with doesn't exist.
That's how you lost the house. You can't do that in a nice neighborhood like that. not when people.
It was a co-op, right?
And you can't be doing. I like, that's what's crazy. I like going to shows now, or playing shows. Like, younger kids are wearing shirts of bands, and I'm like, I saw a Goo Goo Dolls shirt. Like, no one wore Goo Goo Dolls shirt in the fucking 90s. Like, we didn't wear. No one was like, Goo Goo Dolls, man, that's my shit. Like, Iris, oh, I love that song. Like,
you're right. I have never seen a Goo Goo Doll t-shirt, nor have someone ever said, like, you should listen to the latest. Goo Goo Dolls just released something. Never heard that.
Did you know the Goo Goo Dolls are back? Like, no one, we know their music. Give up forever
to touch you. This guy would give up heaven. To
grope someone. Yeah, and that's you think you believe in God? That guy. Jesus. He's groping. It's weird to see all of those shirts, Smashing Pumpkins shirts. Smashing Pumpkins, obviously.
Smashing Pumpkins, I understand. Smashing Pumpkins was always cool, and even when they were dorks, and they probably were. All musicians are dorks. Can we be honest? You have to sit there like a dweeb, like, and then what rhymes with that? Like, it's not a cool process. I have been in it. I'm just like, I don't know what the next line is. It has to be cool.
Do you know the comic Christine Levine she was on Portlandia, and she
the greatest.
Yeah, she's so funny.
I really just go for it sometimes. Woo, thanks. Oh, well, she's a rapist. Oh shit, I didn't know.
No, but she was on but she did a whole bit about how Bruce Springsteen is just working class cosplay. Like that he's like a guy that never actually probably worked these jobs he talked about. He's
right.
Just,
when did he have time?
Right.
He's been famous for fucking ever. When did you work in a mill? Like no one believes that.
Here's my side project.
But there are those people who do, and then there are those people who watch and scribe. And that's
true. I was writing love songs before I kissed anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
What do I know? I'm just looking at your faces going like, that looks awful. It's awful. Yeah. It's terrible.
Right. How many rappers are millionaires? And I'm like, this is your first album.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They observe and they write about it. And so, yeah, Goo Goo Dolls, all of that. But my son is like way into that stuff. Like
let me mention this, by the way. We only got to one tattoo. Speaking of your son, you have your son's name on your neck. Did you draw over that?
No. That's still there. I do still care about him. Okay. No, I've got a lot more. As soon as our TV show wrapped, because while we were filming Those Who Can't, I wasn't allowed to change my appearance. Because you have appearance clauses, and I wanted
True TV.
Yeah, yeah, when it was on True TV, and I wanted so badly to get my hands tattooed more. I had my knuckles done, but they wouldn't let me. I kept asking the production company and the network, and they were like, "No, we'd rather you didn't." And then as soon as it wrapped, I tattooed my hands and then my neck. And then
I knew something was different.
My whole back. I just outlined my entire back.
What do you have on your hands? What is this?
That's an osprey.
Whoa, like an owl. Huge. Yeah.
And then a big owl there.
And then a different kind of owl. Yeah.
No, nice. Well, an osprey is like a bird of prey.
I didn't mean none.
And then, yeah. And then I've got palm trees on, because like they're for my band spells. And yeah, I just decided after the show wrapped, I was like, I'm above the law. Now I'm going to tattoo.
Oh my God, Ben, I also have a hand tattoo.
What did you do? Come on, show it.
Look at me. Can you see it?
It's literally a smiley face. It literally is.
How did you sit through that? Now,
dot smile.
Did you use numbing cream? And I want to ask you.
She demanded gas.
I just picture you with one of those juvenile, like piggy snout ones that gives you the flavored nitrous or the scented nitrous. That's awesome. Yeah, what, did you actually really do that? Is it true?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh my God. Did you do it yourself? Awesome. Oh, that's rad. I like that.
Thank you.
The question mark tattoo he's talking about.
Yeah, I love like nonsense tattoos that are just like, I just did it because I wanted to. Like,
well, that's offensive.
No.
You didn't give a shit, Henda. You put a question mark on your arm.
Yeah, no. I mean the smiley face and the question mark. You know, like it's just because people would go, "Why'd you get that?" You know, and it's like because I wanted to, or I question things.
This smiley face. I went to a friend's band, Kyle Thompson, shout out, and you go in and this person at the door actually drew a smiley face on people's hands as then that's
like the stamp that you paid to come in.
Yeah, instead of stamping, she drew a smiley face, or maybe she stamped a smiley face. And all night I was like, I really like this smiley face on my hand. I think I'm going to tattoo it. And that's awesome. That's how that came.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's how it was with my back. I got into a show and they were doing as an entry thing, a full back tattoo in marker on your back as a way of showing that you paid your entrance fee. And I was like, I love this.
That's funny.
Tattoo it on me full time, 5.5. I actually went into shock on that one. That's the first time I've like shaken and like my back was like,
but you don't want to do it in steps, right?
Well, you can't. The outline is hard to do in steps because they stencil it on and then matching that stencil again. It would be very, because it's so big. So it's like, no, you have to sit through the outline. And
what is on your back?
I'll show you
the name of the restaurant.
Yeah. It says Casa Bonita on it.
Hours of operation.
Hold on, I don't know if you can see.
All right, we'll keep talking. Oh, he can't even hear it.
Holy
oh my
hell.
God. Holy. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. So it's a woman's face profile, but with detail, flowers in her hair, flowers all around.
Yeah,
wow.
got it. And then I got horses.
Horse on your side, a real looking horse, like 3D motherfucker.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my God. A horse on its hind legs.
And I got the lobsters. But
big lobster chest piece. He was born in Maine. So what are you going to do? Not put a lobster on your chest?
How are you hearing us with your headphones on or off?
Because you're both really you project well.
You're passionate.
You're passionate people.
Wow, so you have to stay in shape if you're going to keep showing people those tattoos.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't want to get things like on my stomach, because then I'm just like, let me stand up because I don't want the rolls.
Oh, there's a reason why I chose the posture that I did. Because I'm definitely, I'm 44. I've got stuff hanging off me for sure.
Got a baby on board tattoo.
Yeah.
Do you did you cover up Times of Wasting?
No, I did not. Nah, there it is. That's the misspelled one right there.
Times of Wasting, waste like your waist on your body.
Too many eyes in that one. Too many eyes. The sweet irony of getting a tattoo about not wasting time and then hurrying and getting it misspelled.
Well, it's funny, the stencil thing. So there was no stencil for Times of Wasting, right?
Well, he didn't put the letters in.
That's important.
The stencil was blank. So like the banner was blank, and he just goes, I'm just gonna he's a good artist. He was like, but not good at spelling. And he was like, I'm just gonna tattoo letter them. Like, they'll just be traditional. And I just trust him. And afterwards I was like, dude, you fucking misspelled it, you fucking asshole.
Is it free?
No, because he didn't know till afterwards. He offered to fix it for free, but by that point I was like, no, it's funny. How do you
fix it? You'd have to make every letter wider.
We had talked about, you do he was going to do like part of the chain going through the eye. So it looked like the eye was actually just chain links. But okay. I was like, no, don't do that.
But then what would we talk about? Come on.
Yeah. And I was on a thing.
And give me a night to think about it too.
Yeah. But
you're throwing a lot at me right now.
But I was on a thing where it I've told that story numerous times. The best one is this tattoo, which is I don't know if you can see that
upper right tit. I can't see it.
In parentheticals it says gruff mumbling ... bean dip ! And it's in quotations, and then it's credited to the comic Kyle Kinane.
Okay, and, we just talked to him.
Yeah, so basically Kyle and I did that show Boast Rattle in LA, which
it's like a roast battle, but the opposite. You praise the other person.
Yes.
That's right.
And so at the beginning, I was battling Kyle and we had to go back and forth. And at the beginning of the boast, I got to go first. And I said, Kyle, when you wrote that bit that was like, bean dip, and the whole audience laughs because it sounds like something Kyle would write about. And so the whole show goes on for the rest of it. And then I get the last boast before him. And they were like, Ben, you start the last one. And I was like, seriously though, Kyle, when you wrote that bean dip joke, it changed my life. And he was like, why do you keep saying that? I've never written a joke about bean dip. And I was like, you've never written a joke about bean dip. And he's like, no, I've never done that. And then I took my shirt off and I was like, well, that makes this tattoo a super bummer, doesn't it? And he was like, did you actually get that? And the place went ape shit because I had gone onto Hollywood Boulevard that afternoon before the show and I had him tattoo it on my chest.
Well, that's how you win a battle.
Yeah. Oh, they actually made me lose. They thought it was funnier if I lost.
Okay.
So they voted against me.
Did you have a partner at the time or ever when you were getting tattoos of, even your child's name or somebody else's quote? Was there ever a partner in your life where it's like, maybe my initials, maybe a heart?
When you've been with your wife for over a decade, she never said, hey,
yeah, no,
lobsters are cute, but
she didn't. She had a lot of bad tattoos too.
Okay.
So yeah, I was, from 90 or 2001 until basically COVID, I was married I was with the same person, and so she just kind of knew that I got dumb shit tattooed on myself.
Do people get
divorced.
nervous talking to you about, and then it's gonna turn into a tattoo? Like, people would get nervous talking to me and be like, "Are you writing that down? Was that me?" Are they like, "Oh shit, am I gonna be on your thigh now?"
I'm gonna end up on the inside of his thigh. Yeah, yeah, it's a real concern, and I'm not. Let me jot that down. though. That's a great idea. I'll put that here,
Damn it! I wanted to end up on the left thigh.
Yeah.
You gotta say
I just put,
smarter.
damn it! I wanted to end up on the left thigh, on my right thigh. How meta would that be?
Oh!
It's not even the right. It's not even the correct thigh. Do you have any tattoos?
I don't know.
What? You've never got any?
That's funny. but you do have one though, right, Keith?
Come on.
No, I don't.
What? Not even like a stick and poke at a party when you were a kid?
I love the idea. What? I love the idea. That wasn't a tattoo, buddy. Anyways, I do like a full sleeve a lot. I think it's cool on chicks. It's hot, but you have to go through that awkward phase, I have to assume, where you only have a couple tattoos and you're like, I'm getting there. It'd be like if I grew out my hair. I can, but there's going to be a lot of awkward stages that I'm not willing to put up with.
I gotcha.
If you could do my sleeve out at once without
you could plan it all out and do the outline in one. You could, if you were willing to sit
don't let him. No, that's not why.
How cool would he look with ripping sleeves, like bionic shit, like big boobied Aztec women and stuff like that, and lowriders? Nice. Like, you get something like creepy. Yeah. So New Mexico, but you've never been to New Mexico.
He already looks like he's going to arrest you poorly. Why does he need to have more bullshit on him? Also, it's more that he can't think of a full sleeve's worth of anything.
Arrest you poorly is the best description of.
I'm going to make that left toe at least.
Yes. Oh God, that's so good. Yeah.
I'm getting tattoos on my back of faces of people who got Keith and the Girl tattoos.
Whoa, that's cool. That's a cool thing. And that drives the other. You know what I mean? And then you get that rolling and you cascade.
Right. They start bigger and they get smaller as he's losing space. So people have to hurry up and get in before he loses all that space. Then he starts gaining weight, gains so much weight. He starts putting it on his stomach, and the more people get tattoos, the more he has to grow.
Exactly. And then once he expands to his full body, he rents another person.
Ooh.
And that's a way you can do it. You start renting.
I don't know if white people could say terminology like renting.
I said rent. I said
not rent to own.
This is not a servitude thing. We're renting space.
Now, you dropped something that I thought I didn't want to pass by. You said
you got to be careful when you do that around Hunda. Go ahead. Hunda.
Okay. All right.
Until 2020.
Yes.
Did you have a giant breakup that we can maybe discuss?
Oh yeah. I got my ex and I split after
sorry.
19 years. No, I'm gonna be.
I mean, good. I've been in breakups too. I understand what you're saying, but still, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, here, like, she's still a very, very close friend of mine. There is
lucky.
Yes. We have a son and we both co-parent very well. It was honestly like kind of sad in the sense of like we were on a walk during COVID quarantine and I was around a lot more and we just hadn't dealt with things. And it was kind of like a walk and it was like, this is done, isn't it? And it's like, yeah.
And what a kicker when it's more offensive almost when it's COVID, right? Like we could go out there and to find somebody else, we die. But all I know is not you now.
I'd rather be alone, masked in a hotel. Like I stayed in a hotel during COVID. And that was over Christmas. That was the saddest time of probably of my entire life. But it was like a very positive thing. She's an amazing person. You meet too young and you grow up in different directions. And I don't think she wants to be with a comedian anymore.
How long ago?
I mean, who does? You just come to the realization later, you know.
I was shocked she made it as long as she did.
Good on her. No wonder you like her so much. 19 years. Great job, girl.
That's a 50th anniurity in comic years.
Honestly, you guys did it.
She's amazing though. Like during it, like growing up, she had kind of a tough upbringing, and when we were living in Los Angeles, she decided to start doing a lot of work on herself because we had the time, because I was making enough from doing the TV show. And so I knew right then when she started focusing on herself in therapy, I was like, this is the beginning of the end.
I hate when they do that, right? Like, hey, we talk.
Can we stay sick?
Yeah.
Come on, stay sick. It's good for our relationship. So once she started, you know, like I just knew it, you know, I mean, we were codependent on each other, and now she's doing amazing. She's in love again. And it's actually, people are going to think I'm weird saying that, but it's awesome to watch. And
but now what about you? Did you start self-reflecting? Because you know, one of your albums, we said like, what was it? No growth and sobriety, or
no enlightenment and sobriety.
No enlightenment and sobriety. And you kind of see that in people, you know, they get sober. It's a little tough, but it's like, whoa, look at all this clarity, you know, and
then they relapse shortly afterwards. Usually people who are so pumped about sobriety, and that's what the album is about, is like, when you quit drinking, you're almost convinced that things will get better. And they most certainly, for a short period of time, you're off the hook for everything you did. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, everybody's like, he's trying. So like people are talking to you again. But then when your problems start come roaring back, and they're louder than they ever were before,
and you have nothing to drown it with, which is what alcohol. Yeah. Now you just have to sit in that. Ugh.
Yeah. And that's what I say in that album is, I'm like, all you did was took liquid earmuffs off your head, and now your demons talk way louder than they ever did before. And so
I like that, by the way, liquid earmuffs.
Yeah. They're like, when I think like, if people have a realistic expectation of quitting a substance that they have a problem with, that it's going to get worse for a little bit, that's okay. And that sometimes there is no enlightenment that comes to you. Like sometimes it gets harder before it ever gets better. I think like creating a realistic expectation is, for me, was much better, because I was like, aren't I supposed to feel better? My anxiety is 30 times worse than it was before. But
yeah, I remember something just going wrong in my life when I got sober, and I'm like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah. What the fuck is what?
I'm being better. Karma should smile down on me more. And right. You realize that doesn't happen. Life is pain, and with bouts of happiness in between. And you know,
I noticed the people who have that, maybe let's call it enlightenment after sobriety. First of all, it takes years. And like you said, it takes relapses. And when they speak like that, where it's like, I'm okay sounding, it's usually they sound like work. They're just like, I'm okay. I do this in the morning. I meditate. I do my yoga. I blah, blah, blah. And they list the work that they do equals at the end, I'm okay. So when sober people are like, yeah, look at all the sunshine I'm enjoying. What clarity. I remember what you said. I don't have to apologize to anybody the next day. I'm like, ride your wave, buddy, but you're going to hit the sand pretty soon.
I have a close friend who got sober, and right after he stopped drinking, immediately after, he was like, no, I feel good. He feels resolute. He's totally dedicated and committed. And in my head, I'm thinking, you just haven't hit the wall yet. It hasn't roared back at you yet. It'll come back. And sure enough, it did. And he's now having to work through that. And I think like with psychedelics now, with what they're doing with like ketamine and even EMDR, like therapy, there's a lot of other avenues now for like.
What's EMDR? Is that the light one?
It's the eye motion one.
You're focusing on something else so that you can talk about your trauma, that one?
Yeah. And you're like, depends on the one. Sometimes you're you're like these paddles pulse in your hand as you're telling the story, or they'll have you moving your eyes in a particular way while you're doing it. It's called eye motion desensitization and something, but it's been used for a while for soldiers with PTSD. And now they've started using it in more clinical for just regular stress and trauma and stuff like that. Not necessarily horrific.
What did you do for you?
I went to rehab, and then
For how long?
I went for 30 days outpatient, and then
Outpatient, so you're not staying there.
Right, because in Colorado, to check yourself in, it's outpatient if you check yourself in, if it's not court ordered.
Did you take 30 days off of work so that you can solely work?
Thankfully a job was very like,
wow.
I worked for
your job was like, please.
Yeah, they were like, you're a fucking nightmare and a Molotov cocktail. So I think everybody that had seen me drink knew that it was coming. And then I just went to a lot of therapy, and then I became a dry drunk, which I'm sort of kind of am now. I just thrust myself. Addictions.
Can you describe what that is, a dry drunk?
Yeah. It's, you exhibit a lot of the same behaviors, but you're just not drinking anymore. You know what I mean? I'm still
You're sort of white knuckling.
Yeah, and I'm moody, and I tend to. I always say that addictions don't disappear; they jump. They just your addictive tendency just leaps to some other aspect of your life. So
and now
I just
you have a full back tattoo. Oh,
yeah. And I have a podcast as well, and I have a band and another music project I'm working on, and then stand up, and I'm developing an animated show right now. And
is that enough adrenaline, or are you still?
No, I don't like sitting
jumping out of your skin.
I don't like sitting still, because that, like, I don't know about you all, but it puts me in touch with, like, and especially in this industry, we're all told to just go, create constantly. And it just keeps my mind off things, you know. I don't know.
What I want to do is just naturally just stay quiet for a minute and watch you flip out.
Right.
Oh, I fucking hate that. Like, seriously, if you both went silent, you would just see, like, I'd just be like, can we go soon, please? Someone say something. Please.
When you had the breakup, did that challenge sobriety, even though you knew, hey, this is what we should do?
No, that's not a trigger for me.
Did that upset her?
Because you were high as fuck.
Yeah. So during COVID, I started getting into taking CBD and THC, and I like that. It actually gives me something that feels like I can cut loose and step out of myself a little bit, but I don't.
You follow your trips better? Like, all that stuff happening in your head, does it slow it down so that you can follow it?
Yes. Okay. Do you all smoke? Do you ever, or like eat it? Yeah. I love eating marijuana. I think it's so funny. It's hilarious. And I don't do it all the time because I don't want to gain it. And I can eat 10 milligrams and be real high. And I'm sure there are people in here that are like, fuck, it takes me 200 milligrams, but I'm still a lightweight. Do you, Keith? Do you ever?
Yeah, I'd like edibles at night. I like to feel like I'm floating.
Yes, it's the best, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever get waves of nostalgia? Like, I get, like, if I smell or I see a street light or something, and I'll be like, that reminds me of this. And I get like an extreme wave of like just nostalgia for something, you know?
When you're on an edible, you mean?
Yeah. When I eat them, like,
I'm gone. I'm just gone.
Really?
I sometimes
nothing. I'm just like, oh, look, I'm not doing it walking around in the street. I do it at night when I sleep.
Yeah. Oh, I love walking around.
I take it sometimes. I take 50 milligrams and get on my bicycle and ride for a while. And
that's coffee to her.
I'm just like, well, I smoke all day. So I like a full pothead. So I can manage the trips and I can manage the headspace. And sometimes, like, I could think very clearly and through the entire thought process, even if it hurts, even if it's, and there's usually enlightenment as opposed to like a sadness. And sometimes I'll start crying because I recognize like, hey, that was just this is what really happened. That was sad. I'm now mourning it. And then I can start moving on. Like there's all the way through trips with this, and the movement on the bike, like, you know, when you exercise, you have endorphins also with the tripping is just, and the air, it's, you know, in New York City, you could ride by the water for miles and you're just like, all of a sudden I'm in Denver, I guess.
That makes me happy hearing you even like tell that. Like that's how, because I know that feeling where you're, and even that like floaty feeling you're talking about where it's, you know, that was something. So I had like a bad panic attack in high school. I was like a huge pot. I had all the way to my senior year. Then I had a massive panic attack while stoned and was afraid of it for the rest of the time until like a couple of years ago, really during COVID.
You have to really be, sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
some people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to get high and I'm going to get exactly like Chemda, and you're not. You have to really be okay with thinking and your thought process and the stuff that's going to come up. I happen to love it, but if you, the rest of the day, are blocking out your thoughts and feelings and they're going to come at a wave like that, you might have a panic attack. So don't start like that. You know, I have graduated into this realm. Anyway, you were saying.
You're a pro. Yeah, you're a pro. You can't just step in and try to take a couple cuts at a major league.
Yes, because just for the record, just because I don't want to encourage people to, it's just a great trip and it's just going to happen. No, I'm not only a pro in the pot department. I am a pro in the feelings department. I read about it. I look it up. I purposefully trip in that zone. So please don't, like, this isn't just a free for all. It's still drugs.
I was watching this guy that's like a psychonaut or whatever they call them, the people that just experiment with all different psychedelics. And he was doing an interview and he was saying that he was like, hands down, the worst experiences I've ever had, some of the most terrifying, were on too much THC. Because there's a different type of, it really like leans on anxiety when I feel like it goes to that place, but it's also been very good at helping me control my anxiety in a way, because it's intense when it happens the times that I'm stoned, and it's taught me how to breathe through it or to lay down and take a minute. You know, you'll always kind of get over that initial, like, holy shit, I feel so fucking stoned. But it was the comic John Doerr.
Great guy. Salt of the earth.
So fucking great. We were doing a show and he was like, you should try weed. And I was like, no, I'm not. I had panic attacks. And he's like, no, take edibles, nibble on them. And that's how I started. I would just eat a 10 milligram, maybe bite a little bit off here and there. And I found like that sweet spot where I feel good. And it, you know, I think that's a big thing, is finding like the right amount for yourself too.
Yes. And do it in the right set and setting. Don't just try shit. This is, you know, you take NyQuil and you can't drive a car. So don't just take weed like it's not a drug. Don't take anything like it's not a drug. This is, we're like, talking from experience here. So
or going to a concert, you're like, I'm going to do it. And then you eat like 40 milligrams. You're like, you know, an amateur at it. And then you lose your shit at a show. Yeah. But it's fun.
By the way, how old's your son now?
Oh man, that's going to make me cry. It's 8. He just turned 18 and he just graduated high school.
Holy shit.
No,
that's a full person.
I know. And he's a really, really just good human being. He's just a good dude. And I mean, he's a teenager, so he's still kind of, he can be an asshat sometimes, but he's genuinely kind. And he's just, I don't know. I'm very proud of the person that he's become, because he's
just awesome. Also, how could you not be a little bit of an asshat? That's the amount of shit that's going on. Like, oh, I'm an adult now. Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
What?
It is crazy how fast it goes. It is crazy how fast it goes. And especially those years. 14, then 15 is fucking huge. 16 is huge. Now 17, you feel like an adult. 18. It's a big fucking change as opposed to 32, 33, 34, 35.
Yeah. It's all, now they all kind of fucking blend together. I'm 44 and I'm like, great, next year's 45. And after that, the banger of a year, 46. That's when everybody's pumped to get to.
I'm like 47.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What? Is your hair your natural color? People in the chat, just settle
gray,
down.
yeah.
We're going to talk about is it gray? I can't tell.
Sometimes
I thought that
looks,
was shine up.
No, sometimes it looks fully gray. Sometimes I get a pass.
Oh, that's so friggin' rad. I'm starting to get them and I'm pumped about it. I'm getting the wings and
the sides of your head are
turning gray. The sides of my head. And I'm so pumped about it. I like gray hair. I think it's awesome. I'm fully embracing being older. This is the best time of life right now.
You know what? I understand. Like at 47, I'm like, you could know my age all day because I have earned these thoughts and you will listen to me. So if that's what my gray hair is telling you, then yes. And also I think people take gray hair as a a dismissal, unless it's a professor in front of you or something like that. Right. However, I don't want to dye all this hair. It will have to be dyed every 2 weeks, or I don't know. It's too much.
By the way, speaking of those tattoos, people got pictures of, Kenda tattooed. They have to, even if it's a cartoon picture, they have to draw in all that hair.
I know. That's the time-consuming part, and that's where you're going to get hit in the wallet. I mean, that's where the wallet really takes.
Sorry, bros.
She fucked you. Did your son take the breakup okay, or would you not know because he's so old?
No, he was. He took it. I even asked him. I was like, I check in with him shortly after for the first year or two after it, and he said it was fine. It wasn't I don't know. It wasn't particularly angry. I still go over and have dinner with them sometimes.
He lives with her obviously during 16, 17, right?
Yeah. They kept, because we had moved back from LA and that was a hard move for him because he loved being in Los Angeles when we lived there. And so then that was during his formative years. That was 5th grade through 8th grade. He made all kinds of close friends. And then we moved back to Colorado after the show wrapped, and it was just a hard move. So when we split, they kept our apartment that was it's very nice, and he's got his own room that's he's totally
and they're so selfish, and I don't mean it particularly we were selfish. Sure. We're just right. Parents are supposed to just do everything for us. Things appear. They're so selfish that as long as their life is not interrupted, they're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, he didn't, and we didn't I love his mom, and vice versa. There's not I think if we were bad mouthing each other or anything, I think honestly, it probably got a little better because things definitely got more tense than they had ever been between us right around that time. And I think that tension eased. But now, no, I mean, he's now making choices where I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that. But he's like, I know you don't, and I know you're probably right, but I'm going to do this anyway, is his rationale.
Wow. Good job, both of you. That's freaking hard. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend has 3 stepkids, teenagers. They come home and what's that?
How old?
She has the kids. You have the stepkids. Just clarifying. She has stepkids.
And what I say? She has stepkids. She has kids.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, she doesn't have stepkids. You have stepkids.
I have stepkids, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has
old
kids.
How old are they?
They're stepkids. What the fuck do I know? They're not mine. But they're teenagers for sure. But the one would come home and just, mumble hi and then go in the fridge and then go to the room. And I want to be like, can you just thank your mom for being alive? Do you know none of this, all this shit isn't free? Mom, why are you coming home late? So that you can do what you're doing. But then I would just pop in.
Kiddo, how'd you enjoy consciousness today? Because you didn't give yourself that. Mom right. did, you son of a. Yeah,
Put the bowl in the sink.
My son is not he was never moody. He's always been in a pretty positive kid. He's just a good dude. I don't know. we didn't really have all those issues. It's now where I'm like, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? Where I have to kind of step back and let him make his own mistakes. That has been very difficult. And right. I'm learning, but I'm trusting that he's going to be okay because he is a really good dude.
It is tough. It's got to be so tough to let kids make their own mistakes, because I would think that I would want to be told and save me some fucking time and take 5 years away in the good way. Yeah. I would.
Nobody wants that. Adults don't want that. We even hear, like, when we're in a therapy session and the therapist gives us advice, we're like, who the fuck are you? Nobody wants it.
Yeah, we don't want it, but I'm mad that I didn't want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I wanted it.
And later, like, he's doing things that they're not, I mean, he's not like getting in trouble and I wanted him to go in one direction. He wanted to go in another that I don't think is the best idea. And then I realized I only wanted him to go in the direction I did because it'll cause less stress for him, which in turn means less stress for me. And
sure,
I came to Colorado. I moved from Maine to Colorado with $80 in a geostorm. My mom was like, where are you? You're not going to make it across the country. And I was like, the fuck, I'm not. I'll fucking show you. And I did it. I can only imagine. Then I wrecked the car and got arrested like 2 weeks after and ended up in jail for like trying to fight a cop or something dumb.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
No, it's hilarious.
Your mom was so right.
Yeah, I can only imagine what my mom was like losing her shit. And my son he's not like that. He's like, he could have gone to a full ride here for school in Colorado, but he's choosing to go to California and take a year off to try to get in-state tuition there, because he's following a girl, like his girlfriend.
Okay, all right.
Is it hard? Right, like, okay. One of my stepkids is 15 years old, and he's in love. What's it like to play dumb? Like for us as the adults, like, and I'll see you at the wedding.
Yeah. I've asked my ex that so many times as mom. I'm like, when can we like just start slapping him in the face with a cold side of reality and be like, this is gonna fucking make it, dude. Like, and if it does, you're gonna be fucking miserable, like, because you would have never, like, they don't see that. They're like, their future extends just beyond the tip of their nose. They don't, he doesn't, they're so myopic that I don't know. I try to.
But then you're supposed to sit him down and have a one-on-one with him. And it's like, yeah, but this idiot thinks he's getting married tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But my ex is like a social worker and educated in like in psychology, and family therapy is kind of what she's been going to school for. So she's like, you can sit here and tell him he's just going to do it. And he's told you he's going to do that. And so it is true. I mean,
and then at this way, when things fuck up, he at least still knows that you guys care about him. And you didn't leave with you yelling, going like, this is so stupid. It's like, all right, I'm here. Whatever happens, good for you.
If I go, you're kidding me, is that the same as saying told you so? Will he get the point?
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
He's fucking your friend now. And by fucking, I mean, looked at them with her eyes.
The worst part of all of this is that I love her. She is fantastic. She's not a girlfriend either that I've been like, oh God, fuck. She's a great kid. And her parents, we get along with her parents because they've been together for a couple of years.
Oh my God, that's right. You guys are adults.
Yeah. Right. And they're like around our age. So we're like, what is the lifetime of this? But we've been to stuff at their house because they'll invite us over for a barbecue or something. And so I'm kind of bummed if they break up because I want to hang out with them.
Right.
I would like it to work. Yeah.
You seem like a cool dad. Do you guys talk about sex, this kind of stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say?
I mean, as much as, we definitely had the talk, and my dad, I don't know about you. My dad showed me like a cartoon,
my mom gave me a book, and you know what? Honestly, I was grateful about that. I don't need to hear you say what you did with dad. This book was plenty because I was so innocent. I was like 10 when I found out what sex was through a book. And I'm like, holy shit, mom took 3 for the team. Like, I didn't know how badly she wanted us. Like,
yeah,
that. Wow.
She let dad do that to her.
Seriously. I'm
Dad,
like,
do you want
Mom?
kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many kids I want anymore.
Right. My mom died from Alzheimer's, but looking back, I'm like, she was always out there. She fucked my dad. Like, she didn't even, of course she's going to die from a brain disease. Something's not right at birth.
Oh, yeah, my mom I thought really loved us. She fucked my dad.
She really wanted this. But then later I found out people do it for pleasure. And I'm like, I will never understand being an adult like that. I had no idea. So I don't know that I would want to hear my mom tell me that, no, it's pleasurable. I don't know if I want to associate that.
I picture you reading that book like it's The Road, like just sobbing throughout all of it. There's so much.
Each page.
Really? Oh, God, I gotta put
and then his what?
This has to be the end. There's more.
There's more. Oh, God, anal.
I never got to talk from my dad. I said, what is sex? And he said, ultimate and mutual respect. Okay. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Oh, damn. He's placing it on the level of a solid back pat. Yeah, my dad showed me this. It was like he just came down with this cassette that had like a cartoon. I found it online recently. It's of course on YouTube.
I'm feeling away in my pants. What could that be? I'm feeling it upstairs and down. Oh, what do you think we should do?
And then they laid in a bed on top of each other, and there was a blanket over them, and then it it opened up so you could see a bubble into what was happening, and it was a sperm going into an egg. And mind you, at this point, my friends were fucked up. Like, I was already smoking cigarettes and like getting high at this point. I think I was like 12 or something.
Wow, that's early. That's early. Did you know what sex was? Or do I think smoking cigarettes at 12 is early? Yes.
Well, I think
yes.
Yeah. But I mean, we were smoking cigarettes early in the 90s. Come on, the 80s and 90s, you just started smoking. It was gum. You know, it was cool.
It was a different time.
It was, but we watched our parents smoke, so it was like, yeah, you can fucking rip these things in the car with the windows up. They're healthy. It's fine for you. But my dad showed me that. My son, I actually just sat him down and had a conversation with him, and now,
how old was he? Because the internet exists as your son is
he was in middle school sometime. I feel like it was 13 or 14 that
and he didn't know what sex was.
Oh, he knew, because we were the only reason I started doing it. Like, I was like, I should talk to him about this, because he's definitely like into girls. Like he and his friends are all like going to like stuff at school, like school events and stuff, and there's girls, and he has a girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this.
So you're not technically telling him what sex is, right? I assume you're sitting him down and going like, yeah, what do we feel about how do we
and be smart about it. Really, like drove home, condoms and contraception and things like that. His mom was really good about making sure that he had access to condoms. Like, it was like, listen, we're not telling you to have sex, but if you are going to have sex, please use this. So he's been fairly responsible. I think like everything he's done, I credit to her. She's just a really good mom. She's a fantastic mother, and somebody that has infinite patience.
Was there any debate who has the kid during those years?
No, because I didn't want to hear him say mom. I was like, he's just going to go with you, because I know if we gave him the choice, it would break my heart to hear him go. I'm going to stay with mom, because I knew that's what
hard for him.
Yeah, and I don't want to put him in that position, and I don't
say it. And you can have all your dreams come true. Say mom. Mom. What a short word. Mom. Say it. I want to hear it.
I mean, that's what happened in the beginning of Catch Me If You Can. He had to decide between mom and dad, and he ran away and stole millions of dollars. So you don't want to do that. Yeah.
Well, I do want him to do that, though. Is that and give it to me or his mother, people who look, I could launder the shit out of a large sum of money.
Right. You guys would work smarter. Yeah.
We would together as a team.
Teamwork.
We're divorced. I don't like her. This broad, we put on a pretty sweet act, I think. Yeah, she's great. She's a great, which is crazy because one of the.
You ever complain about mom and you go, right?
No, he doesn't. They're very close.
Okay.
Then I have to ask you, how has dating been like? It's been like
that's a fucking nightmare.
Did you go on the apps?
Yeah. I went on like Hinge and Bumble and
don't people like dads, single dads?
It's the worst. It's the worst. Here's what happens. Women on apps turn that thing on and they get 400 dudes all just fucking not reading their profiles and just being like, yes. Yeah. And a dude swipes on someone and they never respond. I mean, and being here in Denver, a lot of people know who I am. So a lot of people would be like, holy shit, you're Ben Roy. And then I would be like, I don't want to do this. Like I'd get weird about it and be like, sure, I don't want to go on this date. I don't want to. So I dated somebody for a period of time, for about a year and a half off and on, but we just did not communicate well. She's a great person.
Everyone's so great.
Everybody's great. That's good.
They're so
good for you. All of this is great news. Weird that you panic attacks.
Listen, when you don't like yourself that much, it's very easy to like other people. It's very easy to go, they're good people. I'm a piece of shit. After dating that girl for a year and a half, I picked up The Body Keeps the Score because I'm
reading that right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, it's great, right? And I was reading it because of her, thinking I'm gonna understand her things. I started reading it and I was like, shit, this is about me. Fuck.
I'm gonna read this for her therapy. That's how that works.
And I'm gonna understand if I'm ever with someone else that's like, that has the same issues. I'm gonna know how to slalom. And then I started reading it and I was like, oh, Ben, you're fucked. Like you're the fucked up one. And so I've taken some time off of being in relationships to do therapy. I don't hate marriage. I would love to be married again. I'd love to, but I got
what, to have another kid, or just you were looking for another word for marriage?
I guess long-term companionship. I would like that again. Because
we have some people in the chat. Alyssa's saying, too bad he's not in Chicago. Single dad with a grown kid works for me.
Hey, come on. There we go. We'll write it down. That's one for old Biwa. Thank you so much.
Great.
If you,
fantastic.
I know that you have a kid, but it's old that we don't really have to deal with it. But it shows that you put a good kid together. I think you called it, Ben, last time we talked to you. We should have Carfax, but for people.
Exactly.
They can read this and be like, oh, the sun's good, the motor's working. I like this guy.
Yeah, this one. I had a couple botched surgeries, some medical PTSD. That could be a problem in a relationship. Right. But we'll see how that pans out. I have anxious avoidant attachment style. So I'm like,
what's that?
That's like, come here. Then it gets serious, and I gotta get away from you. I don't want to do that. Come here. No, I don't want to do that anymore.
That's fun.
And that's a real fun one.
I had one. I don't know if this is relatable, but I remember I was with a girl once, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work out, and I'm really trying to force it. Then she dumped me, and I'm like, well, no, we can make it work.
Dude, that is exactly what happened. Yeah, it's ego. It's totally.
I believe Lauryn Hill wrote about this. And when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay. This is crazy.
Yes.
There's your next tattoo. Come on, we got 3 tattoos going. Let's go.
I'm just getting worked on right here. I'm like Post Malone. I've got like, did you see that dude is like getting put under to get his tattoos now? He has that's like the new tattoo trend for the ultra wealthy, is to be put under with full anesthesia and to have multiple artists work on you so that you just come out of anesthesia and you have like a massive piece done.
Well, that's how I would do my sleeve, but is that cheating? Does that take out the fun?
I'm even weird. I get the numbing cream thing. I understand it. I did it on a recent tattoo to try it. It works. But it also feels like people are trying to get something without the price for it, like the real cost, which is sitting and dealing with the pain. And like that was always the part of it. You sat and you suffered through it, but
it feels like it gives you a better memory too. It's like buying a t-shirt at a concert as opposed to online.
Right, exactly. You actually showed up. That's a great way of putting it. You didn't go to Evanescence's 2023 world tour.
Right.
You bought that shirt online. Wake me up inside.
Oh my God. So why did you get Evanescence covered? What am I supposed to take away from
Evanescence tattooed on me? God, it
Oh,
was
I thought you did. I thought you had some.
No, I've never put a band on me. No,
but you do have like, do you have baseball bats crossing each other? You do have some goofy shit, right?
I like baseball. That's a baseball tattoo.
It's like baseball too, I guess. Sure.
It's a heart-shaped bat with or a ball with cross bats. And I've got all kinds of really dumb shit tattoo. I got the worst idea to tattoo the heels of my hand, and that was a $140 mistake because they're gone now. You know?
Oh, the side, right?
Yeah, because you're always putting your hands in your fucking pockets, and
it fades like that. That's funny.
Yeah, they just rub off because this skin. The minute you transition from the skin on the top to this different type of skin that makes up
going
your
into the palm. Okay.
Yeah. This is highly regenerative. This is always
tattoos in your mouth.
No.
What about, are you going to get one on your face?
No. And this is
lame.
You fucking loser. All right, cut. No, here's like, my son just got his first tattoo. I took him to get it, and he got one on his forearm. And it's great. It's fine. It's a cassette tape. And he got like an 80s cassette tape, and the thing is like unspooling.
And then do you have a record, and then his kid will have a CD?
Yeah. and then his grandfather's got a phonograph, and then and it's just a group of people all whispering in each other's ears. No, he got that. And then I was like, I love it. Please. I was like, are you going to get a lot of tattoos? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh man, don't. And he was like, but what are you talking about? Look at you and mom, because his mother has a fair amount of tattoos. Right. And I was like, I know, I just hoped you would, and he's like, no, I love them. And they're part of this generation's culture as well. And I was like, but whatever you do, just don't tattoo your face. And he was like, what are you talking about? Look at you. And I'm like, I don't have my face tattooed though, bud. We don't I get like old guy with lots of tattoos. We don't tattoo our face. All right. Because when I'm
in this house,
not in this house, not while you're under, we didn't do that. You did not tattoo your face.
What will the neighbors say? Exactly. I have a sleeve. Sleeves are normal, but you're going to go with
grandmother.
Your face?
Oh my God, your grandmother. I can't even imagine what your grandmother's.
What are we going to do at Christmas?
I hope he does not tattoo his face. I don't hate a lot of face tattoos as much.
It's so early to make that kind of commitment. Wait until you're at least 30 to put something on your face. Wait until people respond to your adult person before you tattoo on your face.
You need one job.
Tattoos so early. Yeah. So early now. I went to see that band Turnstile, and
love them. Salt of the earth. Good guy.
They're on people who are listening would probably know who they are. They're on
I believe you. I believe
it's they're on tour with Blink right now. And
182.
Yes, they're on tour with they're now Blink 182 again. But they're on tour with Blink 182 now. I went to a show of theirs, 19-year-old kids, full like neck, sleeves, hands, face at 19. That's crazy.
How do you have the money?
I know, it's an incredible time.
I had to schedule this tattoo into my life. This tattoo that literally took 5 seconds.
The smile.
The little smile. It really took 5 seconds, but because it's so small, I had to get a tattoo artist that even was willing to clean up their shit, have me sit there for 2 seconds. So, and also people didn't want to tattoo my hand. It's a whole production, and you managed to tattoo your whole body by the time you turned 18. How?
Legitimately, when I was getting tattooed, if you went to a shop in the 90s and early 2000s and you wanted to tattoo just your hands, you just wanted a hand tattoo, most shops would be like, we will not do that until you have sleeves.
Yeah, they won't do it unless it's if it's your first tattoo, they won't tattoo your hand. It's
your neck.
Yeah.
Huh.
They wanted to see a commitment that you knew what you were getting into, because tattoos were colloquially known as job stoppers. They were like, you're not going to be able to work. Now, no one gives a shit anymore. So they're just blasting their faces and their hands. And I mean, the girl I dated, her daughter had face tattoos and she was 21, had 2 tattoos on her face. Wow. They actually look cool on her. I mean, I thought they looked good on her, but
I'm not saying it doesn't even matter. Like, tattoos could look good or bad. It's just like, it's such a commitment. I wouldn't even want you to be married at that age, and you could undo that.
And meanwhile, you can walk into Planned Parenthood being 6 years old and have your dick cut off. What is happening in this world?
I don't know. And I don't know when he gets like this, he gets like that. I don't know where he goes. Where does he go? What is that?
He wants to be a part of this conversation, and he doesn't have any tattoos.
Well, and he goes to a place of rage and a place of paranoia. And I think I'm worried about you.
Finally, I go to Al-Anon though. So I'm just like,
okay.
Good, yeah. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go detach.
I took care of it early. Yeah. I heard every word, by the way. This album, Hyena, like I said, congratulations. Everybody wants to get it. The album starts and you're pretty clear. You're like, I see what's going on in the news. Let me tell you guys right now. I have a knife.
Yeah. I carry a knife on stage. Rush me. I do carry a knife on stage with me now. I don't fucking care anymore. Like,
has anything happened to you as opposed to the news? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my first album, I Got Demons, we cut it out because it messed up the flow, but a guy came up on stage and he stood like squared off with me, and I had the mic in my hand, and I was going to hit him with the mic as he got close. And then somebody not that long ago, why'd
the guy get on stage? Like, why did he think?
He had thoughts.
He has opinions.
He and his partner were very intoxicated, his wife, and she was talking. They were talking to each other during an album taping, right? Which they had been told that's what it was and warned at the beginning. So I told them to leave, and then I made some joke at their expense. I was just like laying into them.
Sure.
And he took offense and he came up on stage, and then he turned around and he walked off. And then recently somebody threw a glass at me. They hit the person in the front row and it broke off their head.
God damn.
And I did not.
You keep going like a pro?
That person. No. Well, that's not. I was fucking pissed. And the place they kicked her. They made them leave, but they didn't call the cops on her or anything. Because she was drunk up front. Same thing, very drunk, and the boyfriend wanted to leave and he was trying to get her to go, and I was like, why don't you just go out to the bar? Like, you're disrupting this. Like, I'm not mad at you, you're just very drunk, So she stood up and she started walking out, and I can't see because of the lights, right. And then I start talking and I just hear glass break, and then some of it hits me on stage, and I was like, what the I thought the light blew, and I was like, did a light just blow? And everybody was murmuring and talking, and the guy in front row is leaning over, and I was like, did she just throw something? And he's like, she threw her glass at you, and it hit the dude in the front row, and they didn't even call the fucking cops. Because
what happened to the guy? Was he bleeding? Was he okay? Did he stay?
He was fine. Yeah, he was fine.
Did he buy merch after?
So it didn't cut him. Yeah, he bought like so much merch. I made him do that because that was incredibly stressful to me. I told him that was stressful, dude. And you need to buy some stuff from me. And he did. And I think he's better for it too. But
that's what I'm saying. Buy the shirt at the concert. It's a memory.
I'm noticing
through the pain.
People seem pretty aggressive recently. Bike riding, it's gotten more aggressive. This like, you could tell on a bike who's who's a real bike rider. You know, they have the slick looking bike. They have they're casually riding. They could ride with no hand, all of this stuff. And he's going the wrong way, coming at me. And I get startled because he came out of nowhere coming the wrong way. And so I just got startled and he saw me startled. He got so excited that I got startled that he startled me more to get me off my bike. It's so it was obviously done on purpose. He has such control of his bike that he pretended he was going to hit me, but just kept riding.
What the fuck?
With like a, you know, like that gross grin on his face. Like, haha, I can scare you so easily. And I'm like, yeah, you can. I startle easily. Congratulations. But I could see that.
Fucking
and there's,
asshole.
Yeah, there's just this like unfortunate error sometimes, you know?
Well, when Ben was on Keith and the Girl before, he was one of these, again, over 10 years ago. He's one of these silly gooses that was like, when you go place to place, the people are fine. It's what the news makes you think about. We're not so divided. It's now over a decade later. What do we think about people, Ben?
I still believe wholeheartedly that people individually are generally great for the most part. I believe people in groups obviously are problematic, and
it's just a shame that's how they come.
And that's why I won't go to AA.
Yeah, that's why. And it's a bummer. There's 7 billion of us. It's hard not to group us together. But I think part of that rage is that, you know, we're all so, like, first of all, being upset is currency now online, like being irate, being angry, being indignant, trolling people is funny. Like the idea that trolling is as popular as it is now. It's just childish behavior, you know. It's like what you experienced. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, you're fine, I just got a rise out of you, you know? And it sucks. It sucks. It does make a person's day shittier. I don't know.
I just imagine that, I know this is extra, but I imagine that, wow, if you needed that, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you need in your day.
What did the person, were they a total choach or what? Like just a chode? Like, was it like a...
That was the entire interaction. They just...
What did they look like?
Like in the 90s, they would have been a bike messenger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Like a fixie, like they're riding a fixed gear bike.
Yep.
A hat with a tiny brim on it. Yeah.
Very possible. If not, that's what's happening in my head. Like I see them like that, but I don't know if they had a hat, but yes.
See them, it's a mail carrier. They weren't even on a bike. But like an actual, that's how you painted them in your memory.
Yeah, it was just an asshole trying to push me off my bike. Actually, now that I think about it.
When we were talking to Ben before, it was Obama just won his second.
Yeah,
his second.
That would have made sense. Wow, was it 2012? Damn, that was a long time ago.
It was. Obama was going up against Mitt Romney. And we were picturing that concession phone call. It took him like an hour and a half for Mitt Romney to go on stage. Right. And we're picturing like Barack going, he makes the call. And he's like, hey, you up? And then like Ben said, Barack's, team is behind him, just making blowjob signs.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, Mitt, are you there?
Yeah. What world has changed? You could make jokes like that. 2012. Boy, did that whole it's fucked up. Everything.
It was weird. We were talking about how it's weird to be a Mormon is going to be my president, to be a person that can't be in a room alone with a woman. Some of these countries have prime ministers that are women. You can't talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I could be your president, but I can't hear a woman sing. Okay. All right.
It's I'm sorry that happened to you. That's really shitty that person did that to you.
Yeah, that's very shitty, Kanda. I'm sorry it happened to you too. Shit. God, you're good, Ben. I guess being a parent.
Trying to keep this positive. I think a little bit of COVID and the divorce made me more of a hippie, and probably the marijuana. It's definitely like softened my attitudes towards other people.
You developed empathy.
Yeah, or also I just I don't have a whole lot of hope for us anymore. And it's become freeing in an odd way where I'm like, this is fucked. We are like the Titanic in the sense that we can't turn anymore. We're too big of a vessel. Like there's just too many people. We can't move in a cohesive direction. This is all just fucked. We're going to die out here.
We have always been like that. The Titanic is always sinking. It's just sinking slower. Now, what are you going to do while the Titanic is sinking? Are you going to look for boats? Are you going to dance? Are you going to
play music?
Sorry. So play music.
This is a metaphor, right?
Always believe.
No. The Titanic's out there. It's still sinking. Yeah. That was the bummer part about the submersible thing. And the ship's right there. It's still above water. Yeah. That ship was crazy too. Like watching that all unfold and all the opinions on it. It's
the
like
submarine. Yeah.
Yeah. But not the submarine, just the social reaction to it all. At first, it becomes a news story. Then it's over-reported. Then it's people making a social argument about it. It just watching everybody go down that fucking rabbit hole. And it's all just based on.
I loved it. I thought we all got together. It reminded me about the few weeks after 9/11. I'm like, look at this. We could all agree. Fuck them. That's interesting.
No, that's the crazy part. There were people who were going, rich people have feelings too. Like there's the like people who have to show that they care and they feel for everybody. You don't fucking know those people. And they totally chose that. They knew it, except for that 19-year-old kid. That is sad as fuck. That kid on board clearly.
You know, he didn't want to go.
We were picturing the 19-year-old kid going like, I just wanted to go to Six Flags. It's hot in here. Fuck off.
We're going to Six Flags.
I wanted a face tattoo. What the fuck is this?
They just announced how it happened. They think it happened. They think that its propulsion system failed. It pointed straight down and the weight of them, and they couldn't release the ballast, pulled them straight down. So they all fell in complete darkness on top of each other on the hull of like the front of it as they dropped until the pressure got so bad as they were falling that it exploded. And they would have been in free fall for a minute, they think.
That's a long time.
In the dark and terrifying.
On top of each other, knowing.
Yeah, that this is probably.
That the Titanic is sinking and they got a real deal experience. You want to know the Titanic. Here we go. All right.
Yeah.
Let's slow down.
Okay, let's slow it down. What's the chat doing? What is the chat? Where's the chat?
Well, Ryan V, I asked what people are doing since the Titanic is sinking. He says he's rearranging the deck furniture. We all have gifts.
That's what we're
Share
doing.
your gift with people.
Also, by the way, I just happened to read that submersible got hit by lightning a couple years earlier. That can't be good.
No.
I don't know what it means, but it can't be good.
That's not. Yeah, that could crackle. Like everybody became amateur sleuths.
Sure.
There was like a guy apparently online that was using a shark tracking software, which I didn't know. There's an app you can get where you can see the movement of sharks that have been tagged. And he was like, it's somewhere there in this vicinity because sharks have been gathering there. And I was like, we're like bored. We're just real fucking bored. I read like one article and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad, but also kind of funny. And then I just sort of moved on, I guess. But then
but you get to talk for a living. So you just now shared your thoughts. I bet this wasn't your first time. We always get to share our thoughts. And then we get to go like, did you have to say that? Yeah, we did too. We've been yapping for over an hour. What the hell did we have to say? You know, everyone's
nothing.
just talking.
We've literally accomplished nothing. But I'm having fun.
Why do people have to talk about it? Because of this, because it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I think people forgot that when they were like defending them. That was the other part, is the defending of them. I was like, they knew the risks. Like even that dad who brought his kid, it's unfortunate the kid, but the dad knew the risks. They paid that kind of money. They were aware of the interviews where the guy was like, I've skirted safety stuff. I think I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
That's what's hard to imagine. I can't imagine that they really knew all of that and said like, fuck it anyway. And I think that's why everyone's like, fuck them, because we have a sense of, you always think your money's going to protect you. Well, look who died now. Right. And then we turn into these monsters, and then we go like, but they're rich. It's okay. Because we have to shit on something a little bit all the time.
I like the picture. They didn't read the fine print, and 250,000 was one way.
Yeah. We're not guaranteeing a ride to the top. That'll be extra. You'll pay that afterwards. And we're fine. That can be done on delivery. We're not going to get there. It's that the idea that when they showed it, that it's controlled by a video game controller and you're sitting on the floor, you don't even have fucking seats. Like the whole thing was just, I don't know. It seemed to me risky. And that was part of it. I mean, that's a good death for a lot of those people. They died doing something exciting and adrenaline pumping.
And they died doing something I love, reporting on bullshit.
Yeah.
You seem to me like you're a guy that like, hey, hope is there, guys, if you want it. But at the same time, it does seem people are getting worse and worse. It seems that you bring up the point. We have a TV show called Is It Cake? I thought the lowest we would ever get is, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Now I got to figure out if something's a shoe or a cake. Welcome to the new show, Cookies or Concrete. What the fuck is happening, Ben? I don't know. How you stay positive?
No, I'm not, like I said, I'm not positive. I don't have hope anymore.
Okay.
For us. So there's a certain amount of, like, I imagine it to like a current going, and I've tried to drive across flash flood, and now the car is being swept up in it. And for a while, I was trying to actually steer the vehicle, thinking that what I did actually changed the direction. You always see that when cars get caught in flash floods, somebody turns on a windshield wiper, and you see the person kind of steering the car, and then they realize they don't have any control and they freak out for a little bit. And then now I'm just kind of sitting on the roof surfing it. I just feel like fuck it.
We're let God.
Like fuck it. We're fucked. Like you might as well just be nice to each other and try to have as much fun as you can. This whole thing's
the title of his new book.
Yes.
We're fucked.
Do you really believe that we can be redeemed now? Do you think we can say
what is redemption? I don't even know what you're talking about. What is redemption?
Do you think
what does that mean?
We can get to a point where we can stop the cataclysmic environmental collapse that is coming?
I think the world is always a better place when we better ourselves. When you see people going like, I'm trying to make this person better, I'm trying to make the world, just focus on you. The better you get, the better vibes or whatever you believe in that you're putting out there, the better people will want to be around you, the more tolerant we can be of you. And then my world is better because you're better. So I
don't know that I agree with that, because I think that that's an offshoot of individualism. And I think rampant individualism is what causes this. It's the belief that I'm important, not we should be acting as a group for the greater good, that we should be sacrificing of ourselves to make the group better. Like cultures that work together tend to be a lot more symbiotic, where there was less emphasis on the importance of the importance.
But then you're just surviving. When people talk about back in the caves, we were just surviving. Now we're trying to learn how to survive and then live. So
I don't necessarily mean in caves. I mean like modern civilizations where they focus a lot more. You look at Japanese culture, for instance, has a heavy emphasis, did for a long time, on wearing masks, because it wasn't about your personal comfort. It was about not getting the group sick, because getting the group sick is bad for culture as a whole.
I grew up in this, right? I think we all did. We grew up in like, hey, your culture, your family, your blah, blah, blah. How much do you talk to your family? How much did you want to accept that culture that decided, they don't let you take what you want and leave the rest. If you're, let's say in one culture, if you're not kosher, then you got to go find a whole different group. It's too much. It's, if I do not infringe on you, but I'm doing the best that I can, you will have a better life.
But I guess that's where I'm saying is you do have to suffer individually in order for group dynamics to work.
But in order to do your job, your purpose, your bettering you, that's the work. There is all work in that. If I do the work for myself, that means I have enough for the world.
I understand what you're saying. And I'm not trying to, what I'm saying is if we're constantly focused on self-improvement and what I need, that does take away from looking for what would better the group and better the environment. That's just part of it. I think we've just become so factionalized. There's so many different groups.
Name a thing that you would do for yourself that would negatively hit the group.
I mean, I've talked about this. Being sober in a lot of ways has made me worse for the environment. Ever since I stopped, now I eat more, I consume more, I spend more time working out, doing things that are supposed to be health, like for self-care. And those things naturally come at a consumption of environment. I drink more water, eat healthier foods, go to the gym. That all consumes a lot more quantities of things around us.
If you want to look at it, or you are supporting a lot of businesses, you are tipping some people,
which causes more proliferation of resources and the environment.
I think at the end of the day, we're both right.
I think so too. Yeah. I think we're kind of arguing, we're coming in a different angle, different entrances to the same thing.
It is funny seeing two good people argue. What are you weirdos doing?
Well, no,
we're not arguing. We're debating. But I do hate you. I want that to be made clear. But I also think that
no wonder you're so selfish, you bitch. Ryan V is saying the Japanese believed it was their duty to commit suicide to benefit the group. See, that's what group mentality. Do you and come into the group full and give to the group.
Right. It wouldn't be the worst if there was more suicide.
I do. Okay. Like I watched the whole.
Please hold on for one more day.
No, not you specifically listening right now. You, please. We need.
But I do think, like when I watched how many of us watched the Avengers, and when Thanos's vision, I was watching it and I was like, I don't know. That sounds kind of fair. I don't know. You erase half of everything. Like
he's going to wipe out half the world, Henda, because of resources.
Yeah, because and he does it indiscriminately. There's no rhyme or reason. It's based on just randomness. I don't know, that's kind of awesome. Maybe what we need, our population. You know
how everyone's all of a sudden a detective? We're all of a sudden scientists. You can't just say that destroying half the world would help us out. Like the science doesn't back that up. It is Avengers.
The science
of the Avengers.
Sociologists and scientists have been talking for years that our population is what is ultimately. I fully believe wholeheartedly. This is a dark way of looking at it. It's not our hatred that's going to kill us or be the end of us. It's our love. We save every human being now. As infant mortality drops, each person comes onto this planet and consumes, and we're not producing enough. You cannot support more than 1 billion people on a non-fossil fuel system or some sort of outside source, whether it's nuclear. You need an outside power source. And
it's like, wake up, people. Anyway, I'm happy your kid's doing great.
No, I just want to say so. So what I believe is perhaps the most destructive thing we do as people is love each other, is care for each other. That's the bond that allows our population to grow. I'm not entirely sure we're not supposed to proliferate to this level.
This sounds like clickbait. It seems like the headline would be "Why Love is the Worst," and I'm like, I got to find this out.
Either way, I embrace it, and but I guess I'm to the point where I'm looking at it and I'm like, all of these things, all of these trends, social media is making it worse. Everything is accelerating this. All the technological advances and I don't know, might as well just have fun now and laugh at it. That's what Hyena was about, was like kind of feeding off the carcass of it and just laughing.
Do you sleep okay?
No, not at all. No, I don't. But that's
hey Ben, do you? No. I sleep fine. I sleep great.
But you've just said you're stoned all the time, and I'm trying to get to that point. No, I think we are. I think what's caused this now is I can't change the course of this. Like you've said, all I can do is focus on bettering myself as a person and trying to, and so that's where I think we're coming in at why we're doing it. I see it as being hopeless. You see that as being the way out of this. I just, how
I think at the end of the day, what we're saying that is the same is it is what it is. So just live.
Yeah. Live, be kind, and try to work on yourself. Try to make yourself better. That's the thing you can control.
I think we just said the same thing. I just had to wait you out. Bucho is saying,
is this what these books are like, by the way? Because I ain't reading none of them.
It was a long walk. God, wasn't it a long walk?
Bucho is saying, perhaps if Ben could just deliver it as a freestyle, please.
No, you want to hear it? Oh, everybody break the cipher down. I'm about to Chris Turner this shit, y'all. All right, give me it.
All right, here's what let's go over what we talked about, and then he's gonna wrap it all together.
Try to wrap it. I'm not gonna wrap it. It's gonna be so bad. Don't do that. This is what you do when you're mad at me, isn't it?
And of course, it's the singing portion. What did you prepare?
That's how Keith does him,
Right. All right. We talked, of course, about the tattoos. There's not an Evanescence tattoo. Wouldn't know that was a joke. You have a Unite tattoo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So why wouldn't you have Evanescence tattoo? Yeah. Unite. Guys, just sometimes you got to fucking unite.
No, I was a unity punk. Like everybody stand together. We're better together.
When you got the tattoos at first, is it to push people away? And now are you like, I'm trying to put my arms out and hug you, but they're scaring you now?
Yeah, it totally was as a counterculture thing. And then now it's like, but now, it went through a period of that, but now it's more socially acceptable. I don't think people are as weirded out by tattoos anymore. At least if, I don't know.
The album is Hyena. You definitely want to get that.
Yeah, it's a streaming special. It's video. You can stream it and watch my face.
Nobody feels too bad about the Titan submersive drowning.
No,
turns out,
what does chat say? Did chat say if they felt bad about them?
They love it. They encourage it. They hope it happens again this weekend. They're saying interns help design the Titan sub. We're learning. Okay, maybe you got to pay them. Let's see. And he has a son that he's very proud of. What are you most proud of about him?
His first tattoo.
He's very resilient. Like when he moved here, he was bummed. He didn't have any friends, but he put himself out there socially. And he's always done that. When things kind of go sour on a plan he just kind of keeps powering forward. And
what are you most proud of yourself as a father?
He's still alive.
I
picked the right mother.
I always that too. Both of those.
I
encouraged him being my parents. I grew up in a family that I'm second generation. My parents were first generation in the US. They were children of immigrants. So
from where?
From Quebec province. They were Franco-Americans that came to Maine from Quebec to work in mills, and they were not liked. And so they didn't really embrace things that were different. It was very much like, you had to look like clean cut.
Assimilated.
Yeah, big time. And so my son, from an early age wanted to color his hair or wanted to dress weird. And that was very important for me to be like, fuck yeah, dude. Just do it. Be you, dude. I got your back. Like, who cares if anybody thinks it's weird? So,
all right. And you are looking for love, or you are not?
I am looking for love.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
How many tattoos does the person have to have minimum?
I'm willing to accept 0. But you have to be willing to get 1. All right?
Such acceptance.
I'm doing it Jonah Hill style. I'm going to create a boundary that's basically an ultimatum. So,
by the way, have you been following this Jonah Hill thing and his ex?
Yeah, I'm curious. So
it seems like nothing to me, but it seems like so this woman put out texts. He's with somebody else now, has a kid, but an ex fairly recently, he was dating. And she just put out saying he's a narcissistic piece of shit. Here's texts that we have back and forth showing he's controlling. I'm a surfer. He doesn't want me showing pictures of me in a bathing suit. He doesn't want me going out surfing with other guys. That seems to be the biggest thing that people are like, oh, this Jonah Hill's a piece of shit. All I know is I never liked Jonah Hill. He rubbed me wrong in regular movies. He seemed pretentious. Then in This Is the End, where they exaggerate each person's personality, they made him the fucking douchebag, the stuck-up person that I always thought he was. So that has to be real. Then recently he does that movie Stutz, where he talks to a psychiatrist, but it's really he thinks he's the psychiatrist and he's saving the psychiatrist's life. I'm on her side. I'm not sure why yet.
Yeah. The way I read it, the hubbub about it is that he's using therapeutic speak of you're not like if you don't, basically he said, if you have to surf with dudes, post pictures of yourself half naked, all of this stuff, then you can do that. I can't be in a relationship if you're doing that. And people are saying that's not a boundary. You're giving an ultimatum to that person, or
what's the difference
coercive.
in that? It's
right.
yes, but that he's saying I'm an asshole and I need someone to be cool with that.
Yes, in essence, is it sounding? But he also said, made a comment in one of the texts that it was about not trusting. Like, this is what I'm.
Then
saying.
He's using manipulative language to sound like he's better than the choices that she's making, and subtly, yet not so subtly, going like slut shaming and body shaming and shame in general, and he sounds like a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, the real thing, if he had been a good person and he was uncomfortable with that, would have just been like, I think you're just a different person. I think I'm a bit too jealous for that. Like, it would have taken it on him, like saying like, I'm a jealous person, and that's like, I have to work on that. And this is
right. That, you know what, that clears it all up. It's the language that you're doing wrong and I can't be with someone who's doing wrong, rather than like, this is my discomfort.
You have to do this.
Yes, you're right. Yes,
you're right.
Yes.
All right, we got to the bottom of it. I didn't know I'd have an opinion. Fuck him.
Yes. Yeah, but you already hated him.
I already did hate him. He made it easy. It's not me. He made it easy for me. Thank you.
We just held the door open. You wanted
but
to
that's
go
nice.
in.
You want to hear a thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for holding the door.
Like I said, Ben Roy, the new special, Hyena. Go get it. You're gonna dig it. And the website, of course, Ben.
For the special.
For you, what best thing people should know about you? Where to go?
You can
what to
find
do?
me anywhere on Instagram, Twitter, all of that at BenRoy00.
All right, and the podcast.
The podcast is called The Grawlix Saves the World. GRAWLIX,
which is a comedy group, right?
Yeah, it's the people Adam, Kate, and Holland and Andrew Orbidal, who I did Those Who Can't with. But it's a fun podcast. It's not nearly as big as this one, and I would argue it's not nearly as fun.
But that's arguable.
But why argue?
But you guys are just
Let's get along.
You're loosey goosey, and we can get manic. We can debate and then come right back to submersible talk.
That's true. Ben, so good to see you again. Let's do this again in 2035?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. And I'd love to see, you guys will be living in some repurposed semi. You'll be working out of that, semi trailers stacked on each other. But I thank you. It's so good to see you both. It's been so long, and I'm happy you're both doing well. I'm sorry if I seem overly positive.
No, don't worry. You don't.
You didn't.
Okay. No, but I mean, my kid is great and all. When you pointed that out, I was like, I do say that, but I don't know. Like, the people in my life are good people.
I wasn't shitting on that.
We believe you have hardships. We see your tattoos.
Right.
These are mom issues. I've got mom issues. Trust me, all.
It's very clear. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right.
Take care, Ben. Thanks a lot.